Hi there everybody, it's Martin Twycross here with another video short, bringing you practical, down-to-earth teachings on mediumship and development, without the fluff. So today's video is part of a series that I'm doing on children in spirit, and the topic of today's video is life in spirit, life in the spirit world. This video was part of a talk that I did on children in spirit for helping parents heal, and whilst the focus of the video is children in spirit, much of what I say also relates to your older adult loved ones in the spirit world. So in particular in the video today, I will look at, are your loved ones met when they go to the spirit world? Who looks after your children in spirit? Do they grow up in the spirit world? Are they happy in the spirit world? What is life like in the spirit world? And will you be reunited with them? So I offer you my best understanding. Much of what I'm teaching today is based upon teachings I have received from my guides in trance. And I don't claim to be an authority. If what I say resonates with you, then go with it. If it doesn't, feel free to let it go. I don't mind. But if what I'm talking about today sounds of interest, then do stay with me. Good evening, everyone. Lovely to see you all. It's lovely to be here. It's wonderful to be invited to speak. And I know that this organisation helps so many people. It's a pleasure to come and talk to you. Well, I must, before I start talking, I've got to give you a bit of background to me, apart from the background that Elizabeth has already spoken about. So first of all, I've got a very scientific background. So I've got a degree in physics and a master's in environmental science, a very scientific background. I was highly skeptical of all religion and anything like this. And if you're going to prove something like mediumship to me, then you really are going to have to prove it to me. I'm not prone to flights of fancy. I'm not known for being airy-fairy. I'm very down to earth. I do a lot of teaching, as mentioned. I do have a YouTube channel as well where you can check out some of my free teachings on there. I've got over 50 videos on there. And I'm known for being a practical, down-to-earth teacher, a no-nonsense teacher, no fluff, no airy-fairy. And so the angle I come at today, that's what you get, I'm afraid. I'm from the UK, obviously, and in the UK, we see things differently. In the UK, the way it is in the mediumistic field, I know is very different from the US as well. But what I can bring you is my own understanding of children in spirit. And what I can bring you as well is the knowledge that I've received from spirit about children in spirit. Not only through my own mediumship, but also I'm a trance medium as well. And what that means, I guess in the States, you're probably more understanding as channeling, I guess. But what it means is that I blend with the spirit world. I go very still, very quiet, allow spirit to blend with me and literally use me to speak through to other people. And they have spoken at length actually on children in the spirit world. So the knowledge I bring, I must attribute an awful lot of that to my inspirers, my guides, my helpers in spirit, because they've taught me an awful lot of it. And it resonates with me, it resonates with my soul, it resonates with that aspect of me that is of spirit. So all I say is I bring you to this evening my best understanding of children in spirit. And if it resonates with you, then go with it. If it's different from what you've heard from other people, that's fine. And if it doesn't feel right to you, if it seems to come up against things within you that don't feel right, just let it go. I honestly don't mind. I offer it in love, I offer it in healing, I offer it in the hope that it helps people. But if it doesn't fit for you, I honestly don't mind if you relinquish it and let it go. So that is a little bit about me. And when I was asked to do this talk, I thought, well, what can I talk about? And the first thought went through my mind is I get asked a lot of questions about children in spirit. And I thought, what if I compiled a frequently asked questions list of the questions that I encounter, and then try and systematically, within the time we have, try and race through them all and try and cover them all. So that's what I'm going to try and do. And then there will be room for your questions at the end, for any questions that I miss. So the first area I want to talk about is what happens when a child passes. Now, what I should say as well is, in talking about this, I'm primarily talking about children below the age of maybe 16. But of course, an awful lot of what I'm talking about applies to adult children as well. But I make that distinction that some of the parts I'm talking about will apply to younger children, not older or adult children. But of course, a lot of it will apply across the board. So first point, what happens when a child passes? Who meets them? Are they met in the spirit world? Where are they? Who looks after them? And if you don't have anybody in the spirit world and you lose a child, who is going to be there looking after your child? So these are a few of the questions to begin with. So the thing is, I know that all children, everybody, not just children, everybody when they pass to the spirit world is met. At the point you pass, it is known that you are taking your transition. It is known that you are moving, but from this world to the next world. And the spirit world is a living world. The spirit world is a world like this, but slightly different, which I'll come on to in a moment. It's known. So if you like, there will be people who come forward who know you, or people who come forward who connect to you, who will come forward in love to welcome you, to help you, to be with you. So recognize that all children, all of us, when we pass, each one of us is met. If you don't have anybody you know well within the spirit world, then there will be people who connect with you, family who care about you, who care about your children, who will step forward to help. And if you like, there'll be spiritual helpers, counselors, call them what you will, who will also come forward to help. So at the point of transition, there's no such thing as being in limbo. There's no such thing as being stuck. There's no such thing as needing help to get into the spirit world. You step out of this world and you're in the spirit world and you're met and you are looked after. So many people say to me, where is my child in spirit? As if I can tell them a specific location. Well, they're in the USA equivalent in spirit, or they're in the UK equivalent in spirit. It's not the same, because in the spirit world, it's not about the geography. It's a world of mind. It's not a world of time and space as such. It's a world of mind. But with that said, when we pass into the spirit world, the world we encounter looks awfully like this world. It's a familiar world. If it wasn't a familiar world, how on earth would we operate? If we moved from this world to a spirit world that was so alien, how on earth could we operate? And if you're a child, and that's going to be even more scary if it was any different, so it's not. The world we move into is a recreation of this world. Just like when we operate within our dream state, the world we operate in is the same as this world. It's the same thing. So when you go to the spirit world, you are in a place of safety. You are in a place of healing, a place of helping. You are with people who care about you, who love you, who will look after you, who will help you upon your journey and help you to grow and give you what you need to help. So again, this applies to everybody, not just children. Absolutely. Now, some people say to me, is my child trapped at the age they passed? If my child passes age 4, are they stuck at the age of 4? Is that the age they are at forever? And I'm sure many of you will guess the answer is no. But some people say, well, I've been to a medium, or I've been to several mediums. My child always comes back as a 4-year-old. So does that mean my child is a 4-year-old? And the answer is no. What's taken place is, for the medium, we need to understand at what age the communicator passes. So as mediums, we always ask them to show themselves to us at the age of passing. We always ask them to bring through information so they can be recognised, which relates to their life up to the age of passing. So they will present themselves as they were at the time of passing for recognition purposes for you and for recognition purposes for us. If you had a child who passes age 4 and they come back as a 30-year-old man and there's not 26 years passed in between, you wouldn't recognise them, you wouldn't accept them. You'd sit there scratching their head saying, they don't belong to me, that's not the right one. So they will meet our needs. They will meet the needs of the medium, and they will meet the needs of the recipient, of the sitter. They come back to meet everybody's needs. So, if they're not trapped at the age they passed, then do they grow up in the spirit world? And if so, is it the same as growing up here? And do they go to school, to college, to university, get a job? What do they do when they're in the spirit world? And probably the most common question I get asked is, what is my loved one doing in the spirit world? And I wish I could give a simple answer to that, but I can't. I know some mediums will tell you what your loved ones are doing, and if they're able to get that information, that is wonderful. I'm not sure that we're necessarily meant to know all of that. I'm not sure we're necessarily easily able to give it because of the nature of spirit, because of the nature of the spirit world. So When we go to the spirit world, we leave behind the physical shell, we leave behind the body. We associate ourselves in this world with the physical body. We associate ourselves in this world with the person we are. Yet, when we pass, as spiritualists, we don't like to use the word, I'm a spiritualist, when we pass, we don't like to use the word die or death. We talk about passing, we talk about transition, because we recognize it's not final. We recognize that we're just moving from one place to another. We're moving from one world to another. So the spirit world is a world of mind. You are a consciousness, you are a mind that is now inhabits a physical body and a physical brain. At the point of transition, you leave behind the physical body and you leave behind the physical brain, and you continue on as that consciousness and that mind. And when a child is born to this earth, they have developmental restrictions of the body, which ages over time and grows, and they have the developmental restriction of the mind. And they come into a mind of a embryo, fetus, a baby, a young child, and so the mind grows as the body grows. And we all know that when a baby first arrives, the baby is incapable of doing a great deal. It cannot speak. Babies, when they first arrive, their eyes, they can't really process what they're seeing. So the child is limited from birth onwards by the mind and the body. And the same concept could be applied to us if we got to a really old age. If I lived to 110, I'm sure my body wouldn't be quite so good when I'm 110 as it is now. I may not be able to get around or walk so much. I may have a lot of health issues. My mind may start to deteriorate. I may start to have Alzheimer's or a form of dementia. And when an old person passes, all of that falls away. They lose all the problems with the mind. It just falls away. All the issues to do with the body, it just falls away. So if we're talking about restricting, that the body and the mind restrict an old person, and it restricts a very young child, baby, then what we're talking about when we go to the spirit world is those restrictions of the earth beginning to fall away. It doesn't mean that when you reach the spirit world you instantly become all knowledgeable. How could it? No. You are, at the moment of transition, the same when you are in spirit as you are here. But there's an unfoldment of awareness. There's an unfoldment and development of the consciousness and the mind. There is no body to develop, to grow in earthly years. So there is no body to grow up. However, your mind as a child expects you to grow up. And remember that when we get to the spirit world, we get what the expectation is. You as parents expect your child to grow up. All the people in the spirit world would want that child to have a childhood and grow up. So there's this, if you like, collective expectation from everybody, including the child, including the parents and the family connected and those in the spirit world, that there's this form of growing up, but it's not the same form of growing up as it is here upon the earth plane, because of the fact that we're not restricted by physical development, the physical development of the development of the mind and the development of linear years. Time in the spirit world is a little bit different, so they can grow up quicker than they can here. It's important to recognize that. And if you like, their growing up and their aging is in accordance with how easily able they are to cope and adapt with it. So they grow up at the pace they need to grow up. So it's important to recognize that. And do they go to school, or do they have to go to year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, like we have in the UK? The answer's not necessarily. Are they able to go to college or university in the spirit world? Yes, if they wish. But I guess the colleges and universities in spirit are not necessarily the same as here. The colleges and universities in spirit could be filled with people of any age, because I'm sure if you were never able to go to college here, you'd love the opportunity to learn and to go into an environment where you can learn in the spirit world. And so so your child could be in classes with people who passed at much older years, people who passed in their 80s or 90s, who really would have loved an education. So it's like an education for all. It's not necessary that we have to put people into boxes and categorize them off. So it's a much more inclusive, much more open. But of course, if they wish to be in classes with other children and you wish that for them and those who love them in the spirit world wish that for them, that's what will happen as well. So yes, they grow up, but there are subtle nuances and differences between how it is here and how it is there. So if they grow up, how will you recognize them when you go to the spirit world? When you pass and you find yourself within the spirit world and they've grown up, how on earth will you find them? How will you recognize them? How will you know what they look like? And you will know. The fact that there's a place that belongs in your heart for them. That's where you look. You look in your heart and they are there. They will come. When you look for them, they will come. You are connected by bonds of love, which are inseparable, which can never be broken, which are always present. It's those bonds of love that draw them back to us through mediumship. Mediumship functions primarily on a fuel of love. So it's that bond of love that connects us. So when we think of them, they will hear our thoughts. When we invite them forward, they will come. And they will probably come before we even need to invite them forward. So you can never be separated from them. And they will appear to you how you expect them to appear. So if you think it's been this number of years since they passed, they would be this age, they will come as you require to meet your needs. They could come at any age they prefer. When we go to the spirit world, each of us, when we reach the spirit world, we can choose how we present ourselves. So people who know us from different times of our lives, we can rejoin them with the appearance that they knew us at. So your child could even return to you at the age they were when they passed, albeit you'd understand that their mind, their consciousness has grown up, and they can revert to wherever they wish within their mind, just as a very old person can go back to their heyday. They're not trapped at their 90s. They can go back to their 40s, 30s, wherever they wish. We can smooth out those wrinkles. Isn't that wonderful to know? We can give ourselves a bit of an airbrush and present ourselves however we wish in the spirit world. So, will you be reunited? Absolutely. Will you recognize them? Absolutely. Have no doubt about it. You are known to them and they are known to you. And the truth is you were never truly separate, which I'll come on to in a moment. So, what's your child doing in the spirit world? Have you missed out on their life? And when you reunited with them, just like when we reach the spirit world, we can review our own life. They can show you their life through their mind. They can show you all of their experience in spirit through their mind. So you will not miss out on anything that they've gone through. They can share it with you. That's wonderful to know. But what is your child doing in the spirit world? And the good news is, in the spirit world, we don't have to earn money to pay rent or mortgages. We don't have to eat. We don't have to sleep. We don't have to recharge the physical body. The physical body has been left behind. We have what we call an etheric body. An etheric counterpart is what we function through. Just as in your dreams, when you're in your dream, you create within your mind your body. It's the same in the spirit world. We have that body. It's created by the mind. It is, to all intents and purposes, real within the spirit world, but it's not the physical body. It's not stuck with the physical limitations of eating, drinking, sleeping, relaxation and rest. So your loved ones in spirit can go 24/7 if they wish. There's no need for them to lay down and sleep 8 hours a day. So there's no need for them to get a 9-to-5 job. There's no need for them to have a job of drudgery to pay their bills, to pay their mortgage. Isn't that wonderful to know? So if I said to you, hey guys, no need for you to have a job, no need for you to have to pay any bills, no need for you to sleep, what would you do with your time? I'm sure you'd use your time to do industrious things. You'd do what you enjoy doing. You'd do work that was beneficial to help others as well as yourself. You would engage in recreation and socializing with those you love and care about. So it's no different for our loved ones in the spirit world. When your children are in the spirit world, it's no different for them than that, in that they're able to do whatever they wish to do, whether that's education, whether that's playing with friends, whether that's socializing with family, whatever that may be. They have as many opportunities as there are here, but more so. And anything that we would wish we could have done here, we can do in the spirit world. If you missed out on something here because it couldn't be afforded, if your child was unable to have music lessons because we couldn't afford an instrument, we couldn't afford the lessons, in the spirit world, all of that is accessible. All of that is available. All of that is possible. How wonderful is that? So So the spirit world is a lot like this world, but many people would say it's much better. It's in many ways, it is much more beneficial to the person, because there isn't that layer of having to do things just because. We have that choice, we have that free will. And are your children happy in the spirit world? I've never had a communication yet from spirit, whether it's a child, an adult, or anybody who comes back to me from the spirit world to say, I'm not happy. I don't like it here. I'm miserable. I wish I could have stayed on the earth. What a place this is in spirit. No, they all, without shadow of a doubt, every time, 100%, come back with much greater understanding, much greater awareness of what truly matters in life, love, the relationships we share with people, all the physical aspects of needing to have a good title, a job, money, cars, houses, all of that falls away, and they recognize its irrelevance, and they recognize the true things that really matter. Love, service, helping others, all of that comes forward within the contact, and they are always happy. Not to say that life in spirit is without its challenges. It's not a life of luxury where we just sit around and enjoy ourselves, where it's all love and light. We will have to encounter challenges. We are growing still. We need to grow as a soul. We need to grow as a human being. We will encounter people who have different opinions to us. We will encounter challenges upon the way, but nothing we can't handle, just like here. So they may be going through something that may be challenging for them, but ultimately their mindset in the spirit world is such that they are happy. They are always happy. I've never encountered anybody coming back from the spirit world who is not happy. It's those of us this side of life who are separated, who are associated with the physical, who we are the ones who encounter a greater deal of suffering, a greater deal of mental challenge than those in the spirit world. Well, the simple answer to this question, whether it's sons being together or your loved ones being with somebody else they know within the spirit world, the answer is they will be. If there's a connection, and if they like each other and love each other and care about you, and even if they don't like each other, hopefully some of those differences would be resolved and they will spend time together because they're connected through the bond of love. They cannot be separated because they have that connection with them. Even if you have a sibling you don't get on with, even if they push all your buttons, you will still spend time with them in the spirit world. You will get to develop yourself so that you understand them more and they understand you, and the relationship will become better in spirit. So I believe absolutely they will be together. Absolutely they will spend time in each other's company. But will they be with each other 24/7? No. Are you with every person in your life that you love at this moment in time 24/7? No. Do you go on your own job, your job, and leave behind your family at home? Yes. Do you send your children to be at school and you're not with them all the time? Yes. So you won't be with people 24/7. They still have their lives to lead, but they will come back periodically to share in each other's company and to keep that relationship going, and best of all, to build on it and make it better. So that, if you like, is my best insight into what life is in spirit is like. And I know that will probably vary compared to other people you've met who've spoken to you, who've said things. So I hope you've enjoyed the video today. I hope you got lots from it. I will post links to the other videos in this series on children in spirit in the description and comments below. I will also post a link to the Helping Parents Heal website. If you've enjoyed the video, do hit the like button. Do leave me a comment. And if you like my teachings, do subscribe to the channel and check out all of the other videos I have on the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can do that by checking out my products, my courses and my study program, all available from my website and store, links in the description below. You can also make a donation to support the channel. Again, details in the description below, but I do hope that you found today's video helpful. I do hope that you got lots from it, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next one.